the sold-out and noisy Oracle Arena. With Greg Anthony, Chris Webber, and David Aldridge, Kevin Harlan. And joining us tonight, a man who once said he will never write another traditional sports column. Please don't say that. So, Bill Simmons, don't say that.
Well, now you just have to tweet. You need 280 characters, and you can pretend you're a writer.
What do you think of social media?
I actually think for basketball, it's been a huge advantage. And it hasn't been a huge advantage for a lot of other things, but I think it's made basketball a lot more fun. I do worry, though, sometimes that people are just watching their Twitter feed over the games. I still think there's an advantage for people who actually are watching what's going on versus watching people's reactions to what's going on.
Interesting. A contest between conferences, Oracle Arena, Oakland, California, where the Warriors take their home floor. Here's the starting group for the Cleveland Cavaliers. The forwards are Osman and Love. Sexton and Smith are the guard tandem. And it's Thompson in at the 5 down low. Bill, since they drafted Steph Curry, the Warriors' fortunes have really changed. Would you call him the most important pick in the history of that franchise?
I would veer it a different way. I think it's one of the most important missed picks in the history of the NBA. Because for two reasons. One, because the Timberwolves had the 2 picks right before and passed them both times. And took 2 point guards. Neither of whom was named Stephen Curry. So that was amazing. The pick after him was the New York Knicks. And if he had gone there, you could make a case that, he saves the Knicks. Or you could make the case that maybe he gets hurt wherever he goes. This is somebody that had really, really bad ankle injuries and was lucky enough to be in an organization in Silicon Valley where he got the right kind of treatment and thought about these new wave ways to treat his ankles. He relearned how he ran.
Core was strengthened.
He strengthened his core and basically took pressure off his ankles where if he had come up in the 1980s, maybe he plays 5 years and he's out of the league. And my point is, if he goes to the Timberwolves or goes to the Knicks, he probably gets hurt, and we probably know Stephen Curry is the guy who got hot on Davidson for 2 years.
And a bust in the NBA, right?
Yeah, or not a bust, or like a what-if guy. Like, oh, man, it's too bad that guy got hurt. And instead he goes to the Warriors. So,
well said.
Really a great what-if pick. He has so many bad what-ifs, and this was the perfect what-if.
And stolen by Cousins. Lets it go from 14. And that'll be Golden State as it goes out of bounds. Warriors retain possession. Durant wide open. He fires. Drains it from beyond the arc. Durant's got 5. And before the ownership changed in 2010, the Warriors franchise really staggered.
Yeah, they staggered to the point that in 2012, I wrote a long column for Grantland about, it was like the 60 reasons you can't blame the Warriors fans for booing their owner on Chris Mullin night. And I went through their whole history since they won the title in '74. Of just all the horrible things that happened to them, all the dumb moves they made, all the dumb trades, all the things they never should have done. It was extensive. And after things flipped around, people mail me that article all the time, like, can you believe it? We've won 3 titles in the last 4 years. You just wrote this. Feels like yesterday. And it was. It's one of the most amazing turnarounds of any franchise I can remember.
I'm assuming you're a fan of their front office.
Yeah, very, very smart. But, the pieces were there. When they bought the team, everyone thought they overpaid. And not to toot my own horn because I've been wrong a million times, but I was one of the only people who didn't think they overpaid. I just felt like that market was awesome. I loved their fans. It was in the heart of Silicon Valley. It made sense that they should be a juggernaut, and they had never really had good ownership. And as we learn over and over every year at the Knicks, like, owners matter. They just do.
Timeout is called. First of the game for the Cavaliers.
And when you take a look at that shot chart, the amount of misses lately, really unbelievable.
Man, this is a joke. I mean, there have been some glimpses of hope, but they've been few and far between.
Bill, it's interesting. More than 50 colleges and universities now offer scholarships in esports. I did not know this, and that number is probably only going to go up.
Yeah, and it makes sense too. What's more popular, esports or water polo? No offense to the water polo players, but come on.
These kids love it. They cannot get enough of these games.
No, every college should have esports.
Here's Sexton. Kevin Durant picking up that last basket. Sexton with it. Curry meets him. The Cavaliers again can't hit. On offense, here are the Warriors. They're on a 14-2 run here. And stolen by Love. Smith kicks to Sexton. Back to Smith. There's a screen. It's a pick by Love. Smith off the screen. That one off the back iron and out.
My goodness, how about that miss? I mean, that's 2 easy points that they just given away.
Pass to Curry. Thompson outside. The pass to Green. And there it is for him. Green's got his first 2 points of the night. Bill, you've watched the NBA evolve. Talk about some of the biggest changes over the last decade you've seen.
The three-point line and the threes or foul shots philosophy, I think, is the biggest thing. Just the pace of the game has really improved and to a really pleasing way for fans. Like just what Steve Nash was doing last decade and those Suns teams, that everybody's playing that way now. I think the social media and the players basically getting rid of the wall between them and the fans, using social media, using Instagram, and we just feel like we know these guys better. And their ability to control their own message now versus where they were 10 years ago. It all started with the decision and LeBron James, and it's carried through this whole decade. And these guys now, they can get whatever message out they want. They can criticize the president. They can criticize their own team. They can ask for a trade. If they get called out by some writer or somebody who writes a hit piece, they can go back at the guy and sick all their fans on the writer.
Going back to our topic from a moment ago, Bill, you mentioned the interaction between players and social media and how that's become a new facet, a skill we're seeing daily from players.
There's just way more accountability now. And I'm really impressed by how polished the guys are that come in the league now. And I think the LeBron generation, LeBron, Wade, Chris Bosh, some of those guys from the last generation that came up and became vets and really knew how, Paul Pierce, who knew how to handle their business. Now these new guys come in, they're 19, 20 years old, and they act like they're 30. I'm sure you see it at the games.
Shocking.
Whereas in the 90s, it was a free-for-all. And you had these guys who, if you gave them a live mic, you were terrified. And now these guys are 19 years old,
Polished.
giving, long interviews to reporters. It's like, how are you doing this?
Tatum in particular is very
Tatum's
impressive.
already good at being a bad interview.
He's
he
19 years old.
doesn't say anything. He knows how to dodge any question. It's like, you're 19. How do you know how to do this?
Unbelievable. Here's Hill, following the score by Golden State. No good, and they can't put an end to this drought. Curry with a wide-open look. That one falls, coming off Iguodala's feet. Curry's got 5 points so far. The Cavaliers trail by 19. They could use a big shot here to get this offense going.
Too many empty possessions. Right now, they need a basket.
Curry against Hill. Pass to Court. 5 on the clock. From deep three-point range. They get it back. Nance slammed home, and he draws the foul. A chance for another point at the free throw line. It's on Kevin Durant.
I tell you what, Nance plays with a force every night. Explosive, tough, fearless.
And he's got his first chance at the line here. And some changes here for the Warriors. Yarebko's checked in for Durant, and it's Livingston in for Klay Thompson.
Shooting one.
And that one misses. Warriors leading by 17. And Curry has it in the corner. No good on the three. 32 seconds left in the first quarter. It's stolen by Livingston. Shoots over Clarkson. Second shot opportunity, and the layup is up and in. Bell's got his second basket of the game.
And from the opening tip, they just crushed it. Yeah, you see it now on the scoreboard.
Yeah, particularly on offense, where they've been completely in sync. Terrific first quarter.
And you know, Clarkson entering the league as a second-round pick, a little unsung for most of his career, but always seems to find a way to contribute.
It's his first trip to the line.
And a year ago, he was an 80% shooter at the line, so that's more than acceptable.
And that one misses.
Former first-team All-Rookie after being picked in the second round. Clarkson, a draft day steal.
He hits the second from the line. Here's Curry. He's got 5. With 1 on the clock, and he connects with the jumper. Curry's got his third basket of the night right there. And that's it for the first quarter in what's been a very lopsided game. Warriors ahead, running away with it. It's the NBA on 2K Sports from Oracle Arena in Oakland, California.